Hello and welcome back to another tutorial. This time we're going to make a sci-fi type battle rifle thing in Sketchup. And this is going to be basically off of a couple of different pictures that I saw. So it's nothing in particular. You can use this to make your own type of 3D model of something you saw, or concept art. So once again, we start by using this paint bucket to get the materials window open. Just hit any old color, it doesn't matter. Go into our pictures, wherever they are, if I can find it. Where did I put it? Here we go. This is a really funky looking rifle. So we want to right click, texture, position, get our handlebars, and drag the whatever circular, what is this, whatever. I'm going to change hopefully the angle of this thing, make it pretty big. So this is a really weird looking, I don't know if it was from something or it was a concept art. Let's see what it says. I think it might be from Destiny. Submachine gun. It's probably from some game. You'll probably recognize it. I think it's from Destiny. I'm not sure. But basically what we're going to be doing is making our own, but we're going to use some things from this. Because I like these little, whatever type things that they have on here. So basically, just like the sword, you start by picking out what we're going to use. So we're going to use this basic bullpup type shape. And then you want to just basically draw your lines. Now this is going to be a little bit annoying because our lines are going to be approximately the same color as the black background. So it'll be kind of hard to see where they are. But maybe not. So let's see. Sometimes you have to estimate. The easiest way I find to do stuff like this is to make it in parts instead of making the whole thing at once. Just like the sword, you want to make it in parts. So let's see, what else do we want to kind of mimic? This part, a whole bunch of things here. And once again, when it is red, like that, that does mean that it is on the plane, which means it's basically a straight line from end to end. So let's see, that's too small. Let's move this in like this. That out. I don't know if I want to. Yeah, I'm just gonna make our block. And in. Oops. From here to here. Let's see, what else do we want? Here. I'm not even worrying about the curves in it yet, because we'll do that later. If I can get this, there we go, on base. Yeah, let's just guesstimate where this would be. Like that, there, and there, and let's find our original point. In order to close that shape, hopefully we'll have gotten everything, and we should be able to, yes, click the surrounding area once the shape is closed, and delete it. So this gives us a basic, I don't know what you'd call this, basic frame to start with. Oh, mouse disconnected and reconnected. Stop doing that. Alright, so from here, like I said, I like this shape, but I also have some other designs that I want to add to this. So I'm going to do the same thing. Create a different color, import a texture. This. Texture, position, enlarge it. Yeah, I think these are from Destiny. Not sure. I'm gonna turn this around the other way. Try to get this in place. I can get it. There we go. Move it. And make it a little bit bigger. This is on an angle. This is just basically, it's the same thing, just from a different view. But I'm putting it in here so I can have an idea of what I want it to look like once it's in 3D space. So in order to get my next part, I'm going to import this other one. Make it pretty big. And try to make it so it's on the same, whatever you want to call it. Alright, so this is a bit on an angle too, but it's another good thing just to see how this thing, now I like the handle on this thing, so I might try to fit that handle into this. And basically I'm going to do the same thing, even though it's on an angle, I can still, using this, whatever curve or arc tool, go around here and approximate how this handle part would look. And there's this huge hole here, and another huge hole here. So yes, unfortunately, I'm still waiting for my lines for the cartoon that I want to make, but it's because it is finals time, so people are busy. Hopefully, they'll send me the lines before the end of the month, but you never know, which is why I'm making stuff like this tutorial, because there's nothing really to do. Most of the animation is done. At least what can be done is done. Okay, I'm just estimating here, and really fast and sloppy. Alright, there we go, so that filled in those squares. Now what do I want to do? I want to make, like, finger recesses or whatever. For this handle. As you can see, this is not, oops, exactly copying it to scale, but it's more the parts of it. Also, this is a low-res picture, which kind of sucks because then you can't see all the detail, but we can fill in the detail with our own creativity, I guess, in order to make whatever we're going to end up with our own design. Okay. Delete that. Delete these lines. Alright, let's see what we have. And in order to round some of these corners, you just have to use the arc tool to get it to, there we go, oh, almost had it, there we go, tangent to edge. Use the arc tool in between two points to round that arc. Now, unfortunately, for some reason this is not closed completely, but whatever. Sometimes the lines don't like to line up. But we can delete that. And in case you don't have a, what would you say, plane, you can do this. Just draw a line across and hopefully fill in the plane, which works sometimes. Is being a bit finicky because there is some edge that is not 100% closed. Flip the plane. Alright. Yeah, it must be around that weird shape that it's giving me all these issues and not closing completely. Oh, yeah, that's what it is. It's this weird shape. Well, okay. What I'm gonna do is fix this weird shape. Yeah. There we go. I have to redraw that. There we go. Alright. So, let's just figure out some sort of weird thing to draw. Some sci-fi-esque, similar grip thing? I don't know. Ergonomic type thing. I don't like that. There we go. So with this, here we go, another cutout piece. Let's get rid of these lines from the plane. And so now that we have this basic cutout piece, what we can do, well, first of all, what I want to do is copy it actually, because there are two things that you can do with it. Because we can use, where is it? Push-pull tool now. And say on this piece I want to thicken it. There you go. Now it's nice and thick and it's got some dimension to it. But as you know, well, as you can see rather, you can see the edges of it don't look very realistic. They're very blocky. And it just looks like a cookie cutter cutout. So with this other piece, which is the same thing we just copied it, we're going to delete the plane, and like we did for the sword, we're going to try, and if I can find a nice edge here, make a circle along the line or the path. Double click that, select it, and try to make sure it's along the same line, more or less. Since this is such a weird round shape, hopefully that should be good. Now, tools, and follow me. Hopefully, actually, let's make it a little bit bigger because that other piece is kind of huge. Move this down. Can center it, which is kind of difficult sometimes. Let us rotate that a little bit. Basically all we're going to do is just like we did for the sword. Use this, where is it? Follow me, tools, follow me. Select the face and go around this thing like this. All the way around, if I can get it to go all the way around. Such a weird, alien-esque future type thing. Go around and around and around. Meet back up, hopefully. Oh, I don't want to do that. The camera messed up, and it messed up my line. Alright, stop. technically it'd be easier if I can do it this way. One of the problems with using really weird shapes is sometimes it really doesn't like to follow it. Especially around that grip part. Alright. Come on. You can do it. Ugh. Why did you do that? I have to stop it there. Ready yet? Go from the opposite direction. Now. There we go. Just gonna stop it there. There we go. And then do it from the other side, since it was being so annoying. Come on. There we go. Oh. I don't know why it's doing that. That's weird. Okay, here we go. It's not perfect, but whatever. So, the other thing too is we want to do the same thing with those inside parts. We can create a nice circle. This thing is in the way. Okay, and start following me. Make the circle a bit bigger, because it's not big enough. There we go. It looks, let's see how it is in comparison. Not quite as big as the other piece. Alright, there we go. And follow me. Click on it. There we go. Nice donut. Now this is going to be hard because it's got very sharp corners. I don't know, I might not be able to do it correctly with this end here. Alright. Tools, and where's follow me? Do that. No. Come on. Sometimes this is really finicky, especially with weird shapes and angles. I don't know why this is doing this. I do know why it's doing this, because it's weird. Alright. There. Extend that a little bit. Nope. Might have to use that push-pull tool. Sometimes when these faces don't meet like this, just have to do something like that. And yeah, it doesn't look really nice from this point, but it will once we put it together with this other piece. So we have basically, why did we do this pipe thing over here is because I'm going to select all this, make it a group, and before actually we move this on top of this, we're going to try and make some details in here. Just going to make some raised pieces. This is going to be a really high poly model that we can shrink later on, and these are just going to be like hex nuts or whatever, bolts. And in order to do that, push pull, just push them out. There you have some hex nuts. Want to see, where's my plane? To copy some of the details that this had on the sides. Let's see. No, I don't want to paint all. Alright, so what did this have? This had a lot of raised pieces. It had a indentation right here. Something like that. Now, if you have something like this where you have a raised piece and you want to make an indentation, the easiest way to do it, to make sure that it's equal on both sides, is to go through and when you meet the face, oops, on the other end, not too far through, it kind of does that weird sort of thing, but when you push the whatever your shape is through and you get to this face and it's selected, and you release your mouse button, it will punch a hole in it like that. And from there, to make our recessed button, if you draw a line, it'll fill in the hole again and delete that line, and then you can just use the push-pull and to make a little recess, and this way you know it's even on both sides where you put this recess button thing, whatever, and just make it, doesn't have to be perfect. So alright, we have some details on there. It's not perfect, but whatever. So we're going to take this that we made and move it over, try to line it up as best we can. Down. Try to get this in here like that. That looks a little bit better. And now, maybe you can start to see what we're doing is basically we're going to use the scale button, scale this upwards until it meets the edge, and also scale it down again until it meets the edge, so that we have a nice, more realistic ergonomic type thing going on instead of that big blocky type cutout that we had. And this is also really good if you want to make something like we could, you know, make some indentation or have like a kind of a lip on the edge of that. But I'm just going to try to make it like that. So here we go. We have a piece here. The top part needs to be pushed down a little bit, I think. Or maybe up. This needs to be moved up. So, move this up. So here we go. Now we have a, whatever the heck this piece, grip piece. We're just going to select this all and make that a group. So now this is all one piece. So we can move it wherever we want. And now we basically have the grip for our rifle type weird thing that we're making. And we can just set that aside for now and work on this frame portion, which has the whatever, I don't know what these things are called. It's frame buttstock, I guess. So we can delete some of these edges, and we're basically going to do the same thing that we did for the grip with this. Basically get some details that I like to keep, like this, for example, these bolts or screws or whatever they are. And this too. And then use our push-pull, push it up. And as you can see, it kind of messes up the texture, at least the mapping part of it, but that doesn't really matter. And actually, I'd like to just paint it with a flat texture so I can see it better without all the details. And the easiest way to paint the whole entire thing is select it all and paint it. Alright, so now we have some holes, minor detail. Let's shrink this down a bit. And this did have, where was it? Need another picture. Where is it? Here. Texture position. And make this kind of really huge. So it did have this line here, indentation, I guess, around the buttstock, which is pretty neat. So we want to keep that. So approximately find out where that is and redraw a line. Try to keep the same width, approximately. And there. And in order, once again, to make sure that is even on both sides, just drag it down until you get to the offset. Oops. I should be able to delete. Well, not delete, but fill in the gaps, rather, by redrawing once I pushed it down, reconnecting each one of these lines to fill in the plane area. And then we can delete these little cross-section lines. And then push it in, and now we are sure that it is even on both sides. And you can, if you want to, it has, we move it in, you see on the corner here, it has the distance. So you can see, oh well, it would be the depth actually. 5/8 here. If we want to make it 7/8, there we go, 5/8 here. So now we know that it's completely even on both sides. And this also looked like it had, I guess it would be like a rubber grip on the back. So, in order to make those indentations for the rubber grip on the back, we are going to make a bunch of these lines, which once we finish this, we can make our tubing again to round off the edges, and actually, oops, have these rubber, I guess, buttstock things, because once you use the push-pull tool and push these out, but once we have our tubing, this will actually protrude through the tubing to give us that rubber buttstock type look, feel, whatever. And this also won't be so blocky. Now, I think Sketchup has a decimator, which all that is for whatever model you have. When it's very high poly and you say you want to use it in a game or an animation or whatever you're making, decimators just basically shrink down the face count or the polygon count of your model to make it a little bit easier to use in games, so it's not so high poly. Now, there's a plugin, I believe, for Sketchup or whatever other program. Like, say if you wanted to use Dance Studio, you could also use that, and that has its own plugin. I don't know, I don't use 3ds Max, so, but they probably have their own plugins too. So we're just closing these holes so that we still have the detail. I can close it. There we go. And delete these lines once we made them, because it will still manage to keep the, I guess, face of the plane there, and then just shrink down these things, and we have our screws, buttons, whatever they are. Same thing here. In case if you have a hole, just draw a line across it. And that will fill in the area. I mean, these days with 3D printers, you actually could print out this model if you wanted to. Like, say you were doing a Comic-Con or something, and you wanted like maybe a movie prop type thing. You could actually scale these to the correct size and print out each one of these parts and construct it for your movie prop, which would be kind of neat. So you'd have a real, you know, home design movie prop thing. Alright, stop. Stop moving. Stop. There we go. And so, now I'm just going to basically take the same shape like we did before. I don't want to make it group yet. Control C, Control V, paste it wherever. Here. I'm gonna delete some of these features that we made. Delete a lot of the features, actually. Actually, you know what I can do to save me some time? Is copy this. Oops. Copy. And basically Control Z all of what I just did to get back to the original shape. And then shrink this down. Well, I don't have to shrink it down. Just delete all the edges. Paste my other one so I don't lose it. And this is once again going to give us the path that we're going to use the circle on and the follow me tool to make it have a rounded edge. Once I delete all of these lines and faces. But I will be ending this part here, and next part I will show you how to make the barrel and any other things that we're going to put on it, maybe a scope or sights or whatever. Is that? Yep. Oh, one last line. And how to put each of these pieces back together to actually make the whole entire thing look like something, because right now it just looks like a bunch of random pieces. Thanks for watching, and I will see you